Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this. It's a February 28th. It's a Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff happening on the war front. Now, over in Russia right now, they're over the St. Petersburg area, over their airport, I guess, they had a UFO enter in. A mysterious object was seen in the Gulf of Finland. They had to close. I guess they had to close the airport down for an hour or something while this mysterious object was flying overhead. Reports just in. So we got. Do you remember? This wasn't a week or two ago, and we had these mysterious objects flying around. They shot several of them down here in Canada. We've never got any reports on what they are. They said they were covering wreckage, and we never got any pictures of the wreckage. We haven't seen anything. We don't know what it is. But they just been unidentified, and here, unidentified objects over Russia right now. So we got that going on. What else? It says China is signaling they're ready to enter the Ukraine conflict. This is... I got a lot of smoke coming from China right now about this whole thing. And like I say, there's a lot of posturing going around in many countries on Earth right now. World War III posturing. They're bristling. North Korea, firing missiles off into the ocean. But that's not all. I mean, everybody is getting... The world is dividing into these two partitions. East and West partition. And the BRICS is on one partition. You got Russia and China. And then on the other side of the world, you got a NATO alliance. It's very divisive going on right now. What else we got going on? China's new 800-meter rocket shocks the entire space industry. They got some new rocket in China. It's huge. It can carry over 100 tons into space. That's, what is that, 220,000 pounds? Over 250,000 pounds into space. 800 meters tall. That's as tall as taller than the Empire State Building. That's a big rocket China's got. Now, what's happening right now? This is breaking news. Just got this in. Zero Hedge is carrying the story. There was a mass drone attack unleashed. Air raid sirens inside Russia. It says Russia has come under attack by multiple drones on Tuesday today. One of these drones reportedly causing a fire at an oil depot in southern part of the country, and another hitting just outside Moscow. An attack just outside Moscow. I guess that's a picture of the downed drone right here. I'm not sure, but I think that's a picture of the downed drone. It's quite a big drone. It's like they shot it down. Some of these drones, even though they're unmanned aerial craft, some of them are so big they could possibly even carry a person inside them. They're so big. I mean, they're almost like full-size aircraft, some of them. Some of them are quite small. Just depends on the size of the drone. So, I don't like to see this. This posturing is what they do just before they enter into a world war. And that's what they're doing right now. Is they're beating the war drums, I call it. This posturing. The nations are dividing up. They're taking sides. Which side they're on. My personal opinion on it is as far as military, looking strictly at military, both sides have taken Russia and China into consideration. and taking the United States and her allies into consideration, the most powerful military is the United States military. But that being said, the United States has weak spots, and I think that they're going to capitalize off of our weakness. And our biggest weakness is in our financial system. We got the Fed. And the Fed is, with friends like that, you don't need enemies. They could take our entire system down all by themselves. Don't need the Chinese, don't need the Russians. We can end up in abstract poverty, not even able to do anything. Not even able to drive our car to work. All the Fed, and that's why I say, with friends like that, you don't need enemies. I shouldn't laugh about it because, the Fed is just like, they're single-handedly destroying our economy right now with their policy. When they shouldn't be tightening right now into this weakness. They should be pumping the money out there, sending out the stimmy checks, because that's what stimulates the economy more than anything. Quantitative easing, it could be debated whether it's any way stimulative at all. It's pushing on a string at this point. They're just taking money and they're putting it into the banking system that doesn't make its way into the general economy at all with quantitative easing. Now, quantitative tightening does pull money out of the system, what they're doing right now, into weakness, along with raising interest rates, which really, really slows the economy down. They're trying to induce a depression, or what they call a recession, but it would be a compounded, powerful recession like we've never seen before. And is that what we need to weaken us? It's kind of like the chemotherapy thing, where a person is relatively strong and healthy and they got some cancer or something, right? But they're still strong and healthy and stuff. And no, they poison the system with the chemotherapy and make them, sometimes it takes them out so quick. Other times, yeah, there is a certain amount of success with it. But they got to take a look at all the times when it's not successful and it takes the person down and makes them sick so much quicker. To take that into consideration. But that's the way with this medicine being poured out from the Fed. It's like chemotherapy for the country. And what it's going to do is it's going to make us vomit and our hair fall out, basically. At a time when, is that what we really want, is to become that weak? At a time when Russia and China are linking together to try to take down our economic system as well? These are just questions I'm asking. Do you really want to slow the American economy down? Keep doing it. Keep raising those rates. Keep doing the quantitative tightening. And it'll come down like a house of cards all at once. It's not going to be one of these things where you slowly see it dragging down the American economy and it makes a controlled soft landing. No, this thing is going to be a free fall from 10,000 feet and just go splat when it happens. It's going to be a sudden sort of thing where the markets fall out of bed suddenly, and it's at least a little bit of bad news could trigger it now at this point. Well, what bad news are you talking about? What bad news am I talking about? You got it right in front of your face. Here in the Ukraine. The baddest news of bad news. And there goes our markets. And then they're like Humpty Dumpty. Once they fall, the Fed can come back in and say, oh, we're sorry, we didn't mean to do this. We'll try to straighten it out, but they're not going to straighten it out unless they do fiscal stimulus. You see, all of this going back to quantitative easing again and lowering interest rates again is not going to straighten it out. It's going to take fiscal stimulus, direct injections of liquidity into the system to the general population to get them spending again to accelerate the economy. like they did at the start of the COVID pandemic. Stimmies to really stimulate. That's what really stimulated the economy, is give people money to spend. I mean, if they're printing it all for free anyway, you know, what the heck? They print off $1 trillion for themselves. They run it off the press anytime they want to, but it goes to them. You really want to get the economy stimulated, give it all to the people. Print it and give it all to the people. That'll really stimulate the economy, and that's called fiscal stimulus, and that's what they need to do in spades when they bring all this down, because it's inevitable. It's already baked into the cards. She's going to crash now at this point. Anyway, ramble enough about that. Let's get on and take a look at the market. Silver's price today. Silver's going up a little bit. 11 cents. Hoop-dee-da! Goes up 11 cents, it'll go down 50. That's what we're in right now because of them trying to strengthen the dollar. This is simply put. And so, whether they have to reverse this, they're going to have to lower these interest rates back down again. And you think that's going to even make the bonds more attractive than they are now? When they have to start lowering interest rates again, and we get inflation come roaring in like a tidal wave of inflation, bonds would be really, really negatively yield on a bond then at that point. So what's the other attractive asset in troubled times? Precious metals. So we're going to see a weakness here in precious metals for a little while, and then it's going to pull out of this when the Fed creates their disaster. Then it's going to be off to the moon for precious metals. Quite seriously, guys, I'm telling you, I can see a time coming when an ounce of silver still has tremendous purchasing power, and your dollar hasn't got none. And I could see the silver having the purchasing power of $500 an ounce, and where your dollar is like, by that time a loaf of bread's gonna be $25. But your silver will still buy $500 worth of stuff, which is $500 won't go very far by that time. But it'll still probably fill your grocery, or most of your grocery cart. Whereas, where are you going to come up with the real $500? Because your wages aren't going to go up. It's the silver that's going to go up. This is what's going to keep you eating. It's time. It's time to take a look at this asset class, silver. I can't preach it enough to you guys to own it and have it. And gold's going up $7.10 today so far. So now let's take a look and see what's happening with cryptos today. Bet a Bitcoin price of 23,537 and 1641 for Ethereum. Now I'll tell you what could happen with this. We get a big crash in the markets and stuff. This is a speculative investment, and they'll sell it to pay off margin calls and stuff like that. And it could go very negative for a little while. But she's going to bounce back when the real inflation comes, because this stuff feeds off of inflation too, just like gold and silver, and it feeds off of inflation. So when we start getting a serious inflation, this stuff's going to do rather well because it can be transmitted across the internet seamlessly. Like you want to spend it, it fits in with, goes on your cell phone, you just push a button and bing, a half a second later it says that you've sent it, and that's how quick it goes. Okay, so you can't do that with gold and silver, but you can do it with this. And so this is going to have its utility in this depression that they're creating as well. But it's going to be a hyperinflationary depression, something we've never seen before. cryptocurrencies. And now we're going to take a look at the Dow. It's down 107 points. I'm going to refresh the page. 105 points down at 32,783. Taking a look at the S&P 500, it's at 3984. It's up 2 points. Taking a look at crude oil today. It's up $1.98 at 77.66. Bonds and rates. We're looking at rising yields on the long end. U.S. 10 years at 3.94. It's up 2.1 basis points. And the U.S. 30 year is up to 3.93. It's up 1.9 basis points. And finishing off with the dollar index, it's at 104.64 today. And going along sideways. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.